So here's the new experience of my life. When I say new experience, I say it's very tough, and it can change your life if you adapt this new experiment. You know, perform it in the near future, carrying it out. So I have my computer, my computer, which is built very strong, Richard. I couldn't believe that one day something can happen to this, but it actually happened two times. So, in my mind, in my stupid mind, I still believe that, you know, that things better can stay better, but it's not. This is not how the universe works. You see, two months ago, 2 months ago, everyone's believed that this is the strongest PC that human ever built. Myself, I know every detail of my PC, everything, every little thing. It's very meticulous, a very meticulous design. Although it's very intricate, but I built it by myself. I know that it cannot collapse. But until one day, the PSU, no, the backup battery starts to works very weird. Just a random normal day. Your mind doesn't have any conscious about what's going on about it, right? Just you just sit there and you hear the sound. It's like eh, and you like what the fuck? It is just is it works great before. What's going on here? Why does it sound like that? And you turn it off, turn it on. It still make that sound. Although the power, the public Vietnam power, manpower is still on. It's not power shortage. It's not everything. It's not anything. But the backup batteries start acting weird, and it keep using its own power battery. So I was scared. And I was scared, and I used the I turn off the switcher to cut down the power from outside, to let the backup battery act like itself. But not. I turn it off. I turn the switch off, and I turn it back on to let the backup battery knows. All right, now you had the supply battery back online, the main battery, the main power back online. What would you do? And the backup battery said, "No, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just keep using my own battery." And like, what the fuck? And that night, I like that night, I turned the backup battery off. I turned it off, and then I turned it on again after a couple of minutes, or maybe several seconds, and it keeps using its own power. Like, what the fuck? If this time I fail, I'm thinking about the so I'm thinking about the batteries inside the UPS, the UPS. I'm thinking about it. I know, but my mind, but I think that it's still brand new, and I haven't touched it from the day I bought it, and it still stay inside, and I never ever use it like the way that the instruction tells me to do. Like, all right, like you had to recharge discharge it every 3 months. I didn't do that to make it work, to ensure that it works perfectly fine, and it does. So that's not the worst nightmare. I calculate all the worst things, all the obstacles, the all the social evils can happen to my life while I'm learning English. All right, and that is one of them. The worst, the biggest nightmare is when the GTX 1080 Ti falls. doesn't work. That's the fucking nightmare. 18 million for a brand new car and 10 million and 900 dong. The one, the money that I took from my mother for the cars. But I lied to her to get that money back. And I'm the only one who can do that. And you think it's easy, but it's not. His mom is very genius or polymath, even attempting to do something like that. So I can easily pass through, although it's very hard for our people. I bought the brand new car, and it's just one of those social evils that can happen to my life. So about the EPS IR, that night I was going to sleep very quickly that night, very early that night. I didn't want to stay up late, so I removed the plug. I removed the I remove the plug, and then tomorrow I wake up, I plug it in. I plug it in, and it works fine. It works fine, man. I was like, I say 3 million that day. I think so. Maybe 1 million or maybe three. It makes me feel like it's 3 million. And the day after that, everything is fine until this day. Now, my computer starts doing start to do something very weird. One of them is that let me remember. Yeah, I remembered. So I memorized it. So one of them is that the computer the computer didn't allow me to play GTA 5 with other players. It restricts me with 5 familiar players all the time. Every time I launch the game, I keep seeing those 5 familiar guys. And even changing the station doesn't work. Changing that type doesn't work. I called their internet provider to talk to them about how terrible their services are. And I even called a guy to come here, go up to the mezzanine, and have a chat about, have a short chat about one, maybe 30 minutes long. 30 minutes long. So I keep blame it on him, and he keep blame it on their service. So after that, we called another guy, and that guy is who is an administrator of the tower, the internet tower. He had to interview. He had to interview us through our team viewer, and my fucking laptop, my laptop was so long to even in order to grant him the power and the permission to control my laptop. So after that, talking, removing, using a small or adapter, it didn't work. And the support, he had to leave. He lived without hesitation and very big regret on his face. The same here. I received a call from a teller, service teller, assistant, service tellers, and he asked me if everything is fine. I told her the guy is fine, but your service sucks. She cannot help anything more. She's like, alright, if there's you can access internet, right? I said yes, but you should grant me more power, more permissions to control the router, the Wi-Fi router by myself, like turning on their the firewall of the router, or giving me access to the OPNP. Yeah, and and after that, my life it was very stuck. My life was 3 days fucking tired, so fucking tired in 3 fucking days. It was the worst time. So nothing can make me happy that day. So I decided there's nothing can help me that day. Nothing. It was worse. I don't know what's going on. I even have a a slide presentation, and I analyze about what's about the NAT type, about open port, about open port through NAT type is wrong way. Although it's very true because inside the GTA 5, when I scrolled out the social club, it told me that your NAT type is open. But I keep checking on the website, and it told me that your NAT is closed. So I don't know who is right, who's wrong. I doubt it about the I'm partial about the website, and doubt it about the Rockstar Social Club is wrong, or and every other things are wrong, was wrong or were wrong. So after that, I was like yeah, I didn't know what to do next, and it keep boring me. I restarted PC. Yeah, when you have nothing to do, you decided to reinstall Windows by yourself. And I did reinstall Windows, but I do not know to make it hard, like using a USB. So I just have a quick reset, factory reset my computer without deleting my personal profiles and datas. So I did it by myself, and I did it. Yeah, I did it by myself, and man, I saw 25 guys again, 25 strangers on my server again. It's like pouring washing my face with fresh water, pouring tons of water to my face right in this direction. My face like I was reborn, new fresh new air. And then I uh I keep playing until a day after tomorrow. I open it and then I saw 25 to 20 strangers. I shut it out. I shut it down, and I went sleeping. I went sleeping, and after that I open it up. Man, that fucking terrible happened again, and this time I didn't know what to do. Like honestly, honestly, I didn't know what to do. So I decided to factory reset one more time, and this time I deleted the whole C profile, the whole C data. All right, delete it all. Just leave the D disk, the D disk, and it started to work fine again. Although yeah, it works fine again. It takes me just a day to review all the data. It took me just a day to review all the data. To retrieve all the data back, retrieve all data, and um, after that, I analyzing and observating what's going on. I wrote down every software that was working fine, at that moment, was working fine at that moment. Every little software I installed on my computer, I wrote it down, noted on the list, just to make sure everything is fine meticulously. And then nothing happened. After that, although after finishing about 90% all the softwares that I wrote down, I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that. I quit doing that, and everything works fine so far. But another problem happened. 3 days ago, like I play Red Dead Online and Red Dead Redemption Online, and GTA 5, and it keeps restarting me. It keeps restarting me once per day, and after 3 days, once per day, it keeps restarting every 5 seconds. Yeah, it kept restarting every 5 seconds. I was like, oh damn, that sucks. That suck. Then um I you know 3 days I is acceptable, but 5 seconds cycle I couldn't accept it. So I take the PC out, and I was very confused between clean up PC, but still keep in order the 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 gears and parts inside the computer, just brush it by the brusher, or or not meticulous. But after that I yeah, I decided to brush my PC perfunctory, new word perfunctory nghĩa là qua lo. So perfunctory, not meticulous at all, perfunctory. And but what I saw is that the dust keep falling down from upper parts, upper gears to downward gear to the below gears, and that's the reason I think maybe we can increase the accuracy to 90%. How about removing all the gears but not meticulously all the details? So all the details. So I removing all the gears but not meticulously until I look carefully inside, a very look carefully inside a very narrow or gap between the plate, the back plate of the graphic card, and the downward or 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 more downward intricate and bold or design board. And I saw something very weird. There was lots of dust inside, and I feel like is there sweaty, very sweaty, very wet, and I decided to remove. First, I decided to remove the fans first, the fans of the graphic card first, and then I saw quite lots of dirt right after I removed the fan. It's like it's going to freeze like iceberg, and the wet is very wet. It's very wet. Then I saw a gap with a very strong, a very narrow, long, gap here between the downward, the back plate and the board, the intricate board and board. I remove it. Yeah, I did remove it, and then man, I looks inside it, and it was like, oh my god, look at this. It was like all the worst thing ever you ever seen in your life. And I guarantee her that in 3 or 6 months later, without cleaning it, you gonna lose your card irretrievably. Irretrievably. There is 18 million will gone. Now, if you rewind it a little bit, rewind it, you will see that if I'm smarter before that, if I remove the 1080 Ti without using it, just like the theory that I'm using right now, and I'm enlightening my mind right now. That is, you remove the card. Don't take anything that you don't want. You already had a 1060 Ti. You already have the 1060 Ti. You truly and reality and literally don't need the 1080 Ti. It was working so good. And besides, you are not a coder. You are not a GTA 5 script creator. It's not now. So why do you care reading a 1080 Ti because you know that if you don't use it, it's gonna be a waste of money. But you are wrong. It's not a waste of money. By saving it, a penny you save is a penny you earn. By saving it, you with a 1080 Ti, you cannot earn more money. That's the point. You couldn't earn more money with 1080 Ti because you are learning English and playing the game that can be used by the 1060 Ti. You didn't earn more money. Or better to say, a penny saved is a penny earned. The more time you use the 1080 Ti, just that's it's a nick of time, just a nick of time, a snap of time, you lose everything. You lose everything, and you already lost it. With all the wet, the dust, the mouldy, the stale on the chip, the mouldy on the IC, the the rotten on the motherboard. Gonna lose everything in the next 6 months. In the next 6 months, gonna lose every little thing. So after that, I think my luck was safe, and I decided to save the card. But it's wrong. It's actually you decided to save everything. You don't earn money, you save every little thing. You don't need it. The more thing you take, the harder you can carry. You are. So I decided. to save the car. I'm thinking about if I clean it and then assemble it, wrap it up, bag it up inside a box, a 1080 Ti box. Nothing could go wrong. Of course, that must be I after I test the card. Put the card in. I was confident. I confidently plug in all the wires, the mouse wires, the camera wires, the cables, the internet cables, the display cable, everything, the microphone, the headphones. I turned the fucking I turned I turned it fucking on, and I turned it on, but it doesn't on. It didn't on. It wasn't on. It's off. The black screen in front of my face. I was one step later then. I was one step slower and one step behind one my strategy. One step behind my strategy. It was hard. 1080 Ti. Man, I had to pause it. It was hard. My life, just this morning was still very suck. I couldn't do the interview or drinking coffee with my father. Finished, couldn't finish the coffee, the beverages with my father and my brother. I have to run with time. I got there a little bit late, but my father asked me before to leave that if I want to drink coffee or not, and uh, you know, I was very confused, or I was very hesitated to tell him the decision. Although, for me, family is privilege, my privilege, and always on the top. I haven't seen so many cases that I refused my family. This is one of those cases. But he kept saying that you want to go there or not, just go. And then I told him, okay, I'll go. But in my mind, I was like, I have to start learn just like Donald Trump. You have to manage your feelings, skip all the bad memory, the painful memory, desperating feeling, envy or jealous. And I went there to the coffee shop, although it was about 30 minutes later. I had to do the interview. I had to do the interview, and then I drink with him for about 15 or 18 minutes. I came back, or maybe 12, 20 minutes. I came back. I was late, maybe about 15 minutes less the interview, but luckily the girl accepted my apologize, my circumstance, and she decided to let me interview. Let me finish my interview, my presentation. And I did finish my presentation. There are some feedbacks. Don't care much because I have found $200,000 per hour in another careers, and another careers. And you know I was struggling with my life about the PC. The PC was still there. I was one step late, and it keep late. I was one step late behind my strategy, and my strategy is one step behind the reality. I couldn't hold it. I paused. Yeah, and I decided to take to assemble my the GTX graphic card 1080 Ti, and I did assemble all the things, and the thick is like this, the card the thick like that, very heavy and strong and rigid. I even asked my father to go to the old house to take the box, the GTA, the graphic cards box back to me, and we had an argument. 70% heated argument about what's going on. Yeah, he told me retard, and I just keep smiling, and it made him late, and he has to go to the the harbor to with a reason to check if there are some fishermen there. The fishermen that are fishing, but it's not. It's our wasn't unknown. His our character, his personality, his mind is want to take the box for me because no one's going to do that, and his personality want to solve the problem by himself. And then but I didn't say that. Now I can feel that in his mind, man, our father. But even though I don't want to talk about him so much, so after wrapping the card, assembling the card, thick, strong, rigid, brand new, doesn't work. I asked my brother if he wants to give it, or to carry it, to take it to Ho Chi Minh City for warranty. Although it's out of warranty, I know it's gonna cost little money, but I didn't want to talk to him that or talk to him about the another factors, because he didn't tell me that he allows it or not. Although my mind 70%, I want him to allow it. I want him to allow it, but in fact, in reality, currently he doesn't know. Recently, he didn't want to allow anything more. He didn't want to allow anything more. And then I decided, yeah, maybe I'll be stronger if I don't have a car. The day is stronger, but I just cannot. The day is stronger now, I think. But it's worse when you lost something that you couldn't have 10 million, man. No, I don't need it right now. It's 10 million. Then I sure I keep sleeping and sleeping, and until today, until after just 15 minutes ago, I was still sleeping. I couldn't wake up because I was so desperate. And I decided to wrap it up, man. I don't want to, no, I don't want it to take more time for me, and I'm gonna spend the money to buy the PSU if necessary. Like, why didn't the car run with a 1060, 1060? It's weird. Maybe I'm one. I think high chance 90% or even 110%. That's because the car, the PSU, the power supply, and I was like, I'm gonna test this one more time. It was the graphic card. I'm gonna, literally buy like large power supply. No, if it was the power supply, I'm definitely gonna buy. No, definitely, definitely was gonna buy the power supply, 1 million or 1.5 million, and I bought it. I didn't buy it. I just keep switching to take all the weird things one last time. Why did it works with it? It worked with it. This cable, but doesn't work with other cables, like the power cables of the cars. I keep switching it, and I even use the little white ring to mark it on the car, the power cards of their on the power card of the graphic card. And yeah, but after that, I tested one more time with a white ring cable, like the thing that I used to mark the failure power cable, and it works again, and it don't work, and it didn't work, and it worked, and it didn't work. I like, what the fuck? It didn't work. It worked. And then fourth, power cables works, and then one of them doesn't work, and then turn off the power. The working fine thing turns out a not working fine thing. I was like, what the fuck? Because the power. I was like, I don't know. Like, yeah, it was like four things working fine. Four things was working, or working fine at that moment, but working fine at that moment, but 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 then I realized that four things doesn't work, don't work fine. I like, what the hell? Immediately in my mind is graphic cable itself. I was like, damn, if this cable was unstable, like was unstable before, why don't we use another cable, the cable on the boss computer? Yeah, I haven't seen his had a failure with his cable. He just have a failure, the display port cable. He just has some failure. He had some failures with his own RAMs, but not the cables. I plugged it in, and 100%, like 90% all cases, it works fine. It turn on, turn off, shut it out, restart, turn off the power, turn on the power. Everything's working so fine, so well. I was like, let me check it one last time, and I put it in. And this doesn't work. This cable doesn't work. This power cable doesn't work. This power cable doesn't work. I was like, what's going on again? 90% all cases, I know that this support cable problem. Now it doesn't work again. I remove it. Then I remove the power cable. I used another cable, power cable of graphic card power cable. So I plugged it in, it turned on again, and all three other rest works fine. And I like, all right, maybe this problem or this cable I didn't use strong power, I didn't plug it in or so recently. So I know that's recently, because after that I plugged it in, but this time it's recently. I push so hard, I try so hard, got so far, things work fine. Turn it on, turn off, turn on, turn off, restart it. Every case has worked so good. Alright, now it's the time. Now it's the time. Turn off the power, turn off the computer. Now it's the time to use a new graphic card. The display port is fine. The the power cable is fine. You know it's fine because it was working fine. Even the 6 pins are working fine. 6 pins are working fine. You know the 2 pins, the rest will working fine. 90% or 100%. Like 1%. If this doesn't work out for the 1080 Ti, the graphic card 1080 Ti is failure. It doesn't work. It's broken. Is it, man? I put it in. This time I smart. I didn't integrate the card inside the main board. Firstly, I plug in the power cable first, strongly and rigidly. And here, I even heard the click sound. Tick, tick. I feel alright. That's how I do it. That's how I do it. 100%. 1,000,000,000%. 100%. That's how I do it. That's how I do it. 111%. That's how I do it. Click sound. I put a card, graphic card, and I remember about back in the day. I remember about old memories that the computers were no even though it's a black screen, but it was a black screen, but the keyboard works fine. I can turn it on, lock, caps lock, just like what happened to the 1060 Ti. 1060 Ti, I know that this is just the same case. 90%, 50% my mind like that. Yeah, I think like that. I think it's high, just 70% it works now. After hearing the click sound, I put it in. Cable is fine. Power cable is fine. This port fine. I turn on the button. I turn it on. After turning it on, you know what's going on? A white screen on my screen. A white on my monitor. I saw a very intricate but meticulous words, detailed words on my screen. It's not 150% zoom, it's 100% zoom, right? It's more sculptures, words. I was like, man, it works now. It works now. Really? Now I'm touching it. I'm touching the back plate of the cards. I'm telling you it's hard, but it's not so hard. It can just, maintain some 5-10 minutes later. Later. Then I decided to talk to my parents, but I don't want to talk about it because if I say it, I'm gonna lose it. So I keep it in my mind. Get back here and make the video, wrote all the things down. Turns out that the Google Slide is not, strong enough. I use this one. As it was working so fine from the beginning of the journey. The first day I plugged in, it was working so fine. You know what's the reason it doesn't work so fine? There are two, I think 70%. There are two reasons. 70% or 100%. That is the failure of the cards. The failure of the display port. That must be the problem. Plus, maybe I didn't, rigidly plug power graphic cable or power cables so rigid cable need inside the ports. But the graphic cable is the display port cable is the main reason. I was like, no, before that, before I texted the cards, I told my parent, I told my father, that father this are I don't know that if it is before testing the car or after testing the car, but I told my father that this port cable doesn't work so well. 50%. I want to put the mark on it. I want to mark it down. Do you have an idea? I'm thinking about using a markable pens, but I don't have it. I'm poor. Vietnam don't have it. My father told me, I'm thinking. I'm just asking by, by nature, by innate behavior, and he told me that the user. He told me user. What you use just use the calendar paper and wrote it down. Yeah, the calendar paper wrote it down. I was like, okay, fine, wrote it down and use uh, the glue. And I used he told me to use the clear tape, to the transparent tape, to the clear or transparent tape to roll it up. And he asked me if you wrote it, if you write it down before roll it up, roll a circle. I don't need because I just roll up on another half on the half, another half on a half of a calendar paper, on a half of a calendar paper. And he told me fine. He told me yeah. He didn't talk to me, didn't talk more. He knows I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. And then I put it inside plastic bag, and I'm decide I will throw it away. You know the word. Look at this. Look at this. Defenestrate. Defenestrate. And I will never go so defenestrate. Defenestrate. And I will defenestrate it. I guarantee that I will defenestrate it. I will defenestrate it. Defenestrate. I will defenestrate it right after making this report. Take the bike out, carrying taking the plastic bag with a display port cable inside, with a display port cable and a clear tape wrapping up, covering the cable. Throw it away. I know exactly the location. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna crime. Or commit my suicide. Commit my crime. So we're back to this topic. Topic is not about how the car works and how the topic is about how is everything, how it takes you to this day, how the hard feelings you have, and how obstacles you can have more in the future, and how you can do easier, or how you can be more retarded in the future, or how you cannot deal with the obstacles, so social evil in the future. Now i'm thinking I'm thinking tonight is the best day of my life. I'm gonna drink a lot of coffee. It's nothing about girl. I don't want to take more. But I'm thinking about after saving the car, storing the car in the classic wardrobe. I'm gonna order the closets inside the box, brand new boxes, a brand new box. I'm gonna I'm gonna say that the day that everything is 100% sure takes me to today. I like everything is 100% sure, 100% precise. Precise is the thing that takes me to today. If I didn't precise on the display port, if I didn't, I wasn't 100% on. I didn't, I wasn't, I will, It's like if I'm not certain, if I'm not certain, if I'm not certain about the display port, the the graphics cards, power cables, or the if I don't have enough money for buying the 1080 or the HDMI, that has saved me a lot of time, or the PSU. The money to buy PSU is the reason I wait up the money in 100% money, 100% money. That's it. That's how he earn, you know. And this is one of them. You know, this is one of three things, three major main basic standards or poles that create my fucking world better. Is that thing you don't need immediately, quickly throw it away. You're not gonna use it, not anymore. The penny you save is the penny you earn. Alright. You're not gonna earn more, you're not gonna earn more. You don't. You're not gonna earn more, then save it. Surely you couldn't earn more. What do you think you are doing? You are not certain about what you are doing. You're doing English. There's nothing special, there's nothing miracle about that. It's just English. I know you are very regret, grievously regret about the card. What the fuck, you have a choice? Man, so dangerous, my mind cannot adapt to this new circumstance. About, you know, saving the best thing that you have because you don't use it. Just like giving up playing GTA 5. It's hard. Looks how, you know. Look at how I tilt my mouth. How thick my lips are. Lips are. Yeah, it's not about how the card is done. It's about 100%. It's like a rocket, you know, like a rocket throwing anything that you don't need. You have to throw it right now. You don't want to wait any longer when you are on air. Throw it now. Focusing, throw it now. 100%, throw it now. Money, you don't need to talk about that. It's always there. Money is the feeling that how the girl with a very long eyelashes looking at your 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 phone screen, you know, or losing it, glue it, sticking it on her, you know, or volving it on your screen. And you look at her, you see dick is coming out to her mouth, the money. Look at those eyes, and they're my son like ring blue machines, blue mechanism, blue mechanism. Yeah, that's how it is. My life is changed. I'm gonna stop my representation right here. That's all my experiments. That's all my experiments that I have. All the experiments that I have. Not all the experiments that I have. Experiments that I have. And all the experiments that I was conducted. I'll carry out or perform. I learn by experiments. I'm getting better. I'm doing it right now. It's getting better. I'm doing it right now.